What effed up thing did you do as a kid? I was 12 and tried searching everywhere for porn of children of my age because I didn't like looking at adults. Boy, was I stupid. I thought it would be a great practical joke to bury a corn holder, small handle with 2 sharp prongs to hold corn on the cob, pointy side up in my yard and wait for someone to step on it. Of course, being a kid after all, I lost interest after a time and forgot. Sometime later in the summer, while walking barefoot, yes, I stepped on it. Fuck, that hurt. Learned a valuable lesson about practical jokes. When I was 6 or so, I convinced the girl who lived next door, who was intellectually disabled and a couple years older, that I had built a robot clone of myself. I would go inside and come back out acting like a robot, complete with glitchy speech and movement. Then when I got tired of pretending to be a robot, I would tell her I needed to recharge and switch back. In 7th grade, my best friend asked me if I would go and ask the boy she liked if he liked her and if he would go out with her. I went over and asked him if he liked her. He said no. Then I asked if he liked me. He said yes. And then I asked him to be my boyfriend. He said yes. Then I went right back to my friend and told her that he didn't like her, but that he liked me and was now my boyfriend. I don't know why I did that. Cha-cha real smooth. I had a notebook that I proceeded to fill with drawings. Each page was a scene like a comic book. It told the pictorial story of a woman getting pregnant and giving birth with graphic detail according to my 7-year-old understanding of how birth worked. When I was 13, the blizzard of '93 rolled through, holding me captive for 2 weeks indoors with my family. I was lonely, horny, and hadn't seen a female in 2 whole weeks. I was dying to get out of the house one day when I had one of the most brilliant ideas. I made my way to the woods behind my house, climbed down into a gully. In that gully is where I made her, a snow woman. She was amazing. I sculpted her out of snow covering the ground so I could lay on top of her. I gave her some boobs, some curves, and a hole, and for some reason, a smile and 2 rocks for eyes to gaze into. I removed my gloves, unzipped, and got busy. When I finished, I brushed myself off and erased her. Climbed out of the gully, through the woods and back inside to my room and listened to counting crows for an hour or so. And never has another woman been able to compare to that fleeting tryst in the gully. Cold-hearted bitch melted away at the first sign of spring. I would make animal tails out of paper, tape them to my butt, then pretend I was said animal and run around on all 4s, making animal noises. I did not turn out to be a furry, however. Once, when pretending to be a ring-tailed lemur, I pranced straight into a closed glass patio door. Maybe that smacked the furry out of me. I put countless rocks on the train tracks in hopes of derailing it. Filled a super soaker with rubbing alcohol and sprayed fire. So basically attempted mass murder. On 1991, after seeing Mike Tyson getting arrested on the news, I asked my dad what rape was, and he told me it meant hurting a girl. So you can picture 7 to 8-year-old me, running to the teacher to say stuff like, "Teacher, come. Jack, John, and George are raping Molly on the playground," or threatening my classmates with rape if they were annoying me, boys included, 'cause I thought this way I was also insulting them by calling them girls. Edit. The final straw for the teacher was when 2 kids on my classroom were fighting and I teased one of them with a sarcastic tone, "Oh poor you don't like getting raped." The teacher ran towards me, like, "What did you just say?" So I explained to her, still teasing him, "Well, Miss Sarah, he's like a girl, so we rape him instead of hitting him." I remember my dad reading the Bible to us one night and I asked what a virgin was. He said it meant a girl who had never slept with a man. I thought he meant literally sleep because I was like 4, and whatever the context was implied that being a virgin was a good thing, so I felt bad for not being a virgin because sometimes I had nightmares and slept in my parents' bed. When I was in first grade, a girl wouldn't let me in her club. So the next morning our teacher took away her sunglasses because she was wearing them during class. During recess I snuck into the classroom and placed the sunglasses in the girl's desk. Then I told the teacher when we got back that I saw her take her sunglasses back during recess. My teacher believed me, the girl denied it. The teacher pushed down her desk and the sunglasses were there. She got in trouble for not only stealing but for lying about it. No one ever found out it was me all along. And that is just one story of why I am going to hell. Growing up in the 80s, every time I swore my parents threatened to wash my mouth out with a bar of soap. I got tired of hearing it, so the next time they made the threat I went to the bathroom, came back with a bar of soap and with a smile on my face proceeded to scrub my mouth with it. Can't make it a punishment if I enjoy it. My stepmom was abusive to me, so when she'd fall asleep I'd say mean things to her hoping she'd hear it in her dreams. More stupid than effed up. I played poker with a guy who was nicer than nice, such a great guy. He only came once and never saw him again. His face was damn near melted off. Face melted into chin, little face structure. Barely a nose. As a kid he was doing dumb things as kids do and was playing with gasoline and matches. For the rest of his life he almost never came out of his home. Nice guy, but apparently his 1 or 2 social events every few months was all he could handle mentally, from what we heard from people who knew him better than us. We were very welcoming and asked him to come back, but he said no and ghosted us. Felt bad for the guy. All kids do stupid shit. He had to pay for it the rest of his life. On President's Day in first grade, I drew a picture of Honest Abe and George Washington shootin' and stabbin' each other. Thank God this was at home, not at school. I should mention that I was not a disturbed little girl. I loved dolls and stickers and the usual little girl things. I also loved drawing, and should mention this was when I started drawing with detail. Fingernails, eyelashes, even veins, LOL. For some reason I assumed that because they'd both been presidents, they'd have automatically hated each other and, apparently, engaged in some sort of gun/knife fight/battle to the death. I pour a bottle of honey at the metal gate of a neighbor after a feud with them. I waited for half a year before they started a feud with another neighbor. On the very next day, I brought a large bottle of honey and pour onto the metal gate of the house. Not only it is sticky, it is also full of ants, and the ants were at their doorsteps as well as the metal gate. They spent the time fighting with another neighbor whom insisted that they will not do such things. They ended up having to change the entire metal gate. For me, on another hand, I helped them to clean up their doorways as well. They were grateful to me for my deed, but they did not know that I masterminded and executed the entire deed without anyone knowing. Not even my parents. I was 8 years old in Taekwondo class. Early on in life, I discovered I had a thing for feet, but I didn't yet know anything about foot fetishes or sex. This German girl in her late 20s was my exercise partner during class one night. We had to hold each other's bare feet as we did crunches and counted them. She had some wonderful big cute feet with sparkly clear polish on her toes. I got on my knees to hold her feet, and leaned in that so that her toes would rub against my crotch with every sit-up she did. In retrospect, I think she noticed my deliberate crotch placement, because she curled her toes more intensely on me as I got more excited. This continued for 20 crunches or so. I was a little horn dog TLDR, got a footjob during Taekwondo class when I was 8. Thank you for watching, subscribe for more.